What's up, guys? This is Robert with Liquid Creations. Welcome back to the channel. I've been getting asked quite a bit here lately, what is the best method to remove dried epoxy from your sink, your tabletop, your coffee table, whatever it is you might be working on, sample boards, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I've been getting asked quite a bit, what is the best process to remove that dried epoxy? Well, if you want to get technical about it, there really is no best way if you ask me. I mean, there's several ways you can do it. You can use, as you're pouring, you can take, if you feel like babysitting your project, you can take a popsicle stick or a credit card or business card or something like that and go along the bottom side and scrape the epoxy off as it's dripping off. That's if you don't mind sitting there babysitting your project. That's not me. I'm not going to do that. I mean, to each his own. I'm just not going to sit there and babysit it. Now, I do have a video on the channel. I think I have 2 videos on the channel showing a couple different processes of removing the dried epoxy. Today, I'm going to be using this here flat disc. Let me get up here if you guys can see that or not. It's flat disc, hard flat disc. You can go to Walmart and pick these up at Walmart. I think this was for 2 of them was $5.69 or $5.99 or something like that. They do an excellent job at removing dried epoxy. I'm fixing to show you here in just a minute just how efficient these little boogers are. But these right here are quite a bit cheaper and are almost just as good as that metal polishing pad. So let me get the camera set up and we'll get right into it. Now, if the epoxy is fresh enough, you can take you some acetone. When I say fresh enough, I mean within 20 hours. You can take some acetone, take your sample, or this is my sample I made for a countertop. I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks like a Mars surface. It's pretty cool. I'll let you look at it in just a minute. Anyway, you can take and you can put your acetone on a rag, paper napkin, whatever, and you can go around this edge and you can wet this dried epoxy with your acetone, and you can just about take a chisel or something like that and scrape it off if you don't mind putting in the labor. That's one way. Or like I said, you could take a credit card, old credit card, business card, something like that, popsicle stick, and as the drips are dripping off, you can scrape the underneath side of whatever it is you're working on. That's if you don't mind babysitting your project. I'm not the one that's going to sit there and babysit something for 2 hours while the epoxy decides to set up. That's just not me. Not going to happen. I'm more of a get it done and move on type of person. That's what I am. Here's another one of my samples I've done for a set of end tables and a coffee table. That's pretty cool too. I like this, and I like this one better. Now, if you ain't got a 4-inch side grinder like this, you can buy these pads. Let me walk around to the camera and show you. You can buy these pads at Walmart also. This one's made for a 4.5-inch side grinder. That's what these particular pads right here are made for. But you can get them with a center piece where it's got a shank that sticks out about that far. That'll go down into a drill. You can use it with a drill as well. I just prefer the ones with the side grinder. That's the ones I prefer. I've already got one on here Let me show you how wore down it is, and show you how good it still works. You can see, focus. Yeah, you can see it's wore down pretty good. But I'm going to show you how good it still works at removing dried epoxy. Now this epoxy on these sample boards have been on here. This one here, oh God, this one's been 3 years ago. I've done this job. And I believe this one was 5 years ago now, so this epoxy has had plenty of time to sit there and get good and hard. Now you're going to want to wear, I got wind blowing here, so I'm not too much worried about it, but you do want to wear a respirator or N95 mask or something like that, something to protect your lungs. But anyway, let me show you how efficient this is. And on this one, you gotta excuse this right here. This is just this color scheme. This is my recipe right here, so don't pay that no mind. One of these I'm gonna take, Matt, let's go ahead and do it to this one. I'm gonna take some acetone. It'll still soften this epoxy up some, but it's not gonna soften it up a whole lot because of just how old it is. All you gotta do is just wet it. Keep in mind on what your substrate is too, because you don't want to wet MDF too much because it'll swell. Oh yes, it gets real sticky. So we'll leave that like that. And I'll go ahead and fire the grinder up and I'll show you how just efficient this is. I've been getting a lot of kickback. Well, why don't you just scrape it off as it dries? Because I'm not the one to sit there and babysit epoxy. Anyway, let's get to this. I apologize for the noise. One more thing, you want to make sure you don't want to angle your grinder like this, because if you do, it's going to dig into your substrate and it's going to dig into the side where your epoxy work is. You want to keep it pretty much flat like that, and pay attention to which way your grinder's spinning, because it's either going to kick the dust back at you or kick it away from you. Let me get the camera down real quick and show you how quick that happened. We'll do it one more time on the other one just to show you. Look how, you guys can see how clean and smooth that is. Now it's going to stain the underside of your wood. I mean, you could sand that the rest of the way off, but that's what we're going to do with this one. See, I just wiped the back of it off with this wet paper towel that's got acetone on it, and I'm fixing to show you why. You can seal the back of this with spray paint. I'm going to show you how to paint it without getting paint on the sides right here, and you don't have to tape it up. That's actually not black, it's the color of the sample. But let me show you how to do that real quick. If you guys don't know, I know a lot of you already know how to do that, but I'm just going to show you, just because I'm a nice guy like that. full of myself today, if you guys haven't noticed. Nah, I'm just loving life today. Ooh, thought my camera fell for a minute. Don't need that. Ain't got money to replace that. Anyway, I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum come on, baby, focus. Black Rust-Oleum spray paint to do it. Take your can, all you got to do without getting it all over without getting paint all over your project and ruining it. That way you'll have to do it over, or, well, you wouldn't have to do it over, but to get the paint off. Anyways, what you want to do, I know you can't always flip something over, but this is just, I'm flipping over because it's convenient for me. You know you have epoxy work on this side, this side, this side, and this side. To spray this side, get away from it and spray like that. You're not gonna get, look at that, you're not gonna get paint on your epoxy work if you do it like that. We'll do it right here again. Get back here to where your paint is spraying that way. And you won't get no paint on your epoxy work. Now you don't want to come in here like this and start spraying like this, because if you do, you're going to get paint right here and it's going to get all over the side. And just seal it. That's all you got to do. I apologize for the noise. Vehicles going by. I'm outside doing this if you guys hadn't already noticed. Okay, let me show you. You just see me spray it. I have no paint on my sides. It's all epoxy work. I think it looks like the surface of Mars. I love it. Alright, let me set this one to the side and we'll do this other one once again. In case I didn't, explain enough or didn't explain it in the right way, maybe I'll try to get a little closer for you. Now you guys are probably close enough. Alright, here we go. That out of the way. Oh, and if you guys are interested in the epoxy that I use, go down in the description of the video, and pretty much most of my videos, you'll see a link for a Wise Bond. If you use that, go through that link, you purchase something through that link, there will be a 10% discount code there, which is Kellogg 10, Kellogg. They've got epoxy, they got bar and tabletop, they got deep pour epoxy, which you can pour up to 2.5 to 3 inches in one pour, and it lays glass smooth, beautiful epoxy. If I can remember when I edit this video, I'll put up here somewhere, there'll be a link to one of my videos of a table that I done here not too long ago of how glass smooth the epoxy lays out. You'll be amazed when you see it. Anyway, you purchase something through that link. They have tools for epoxy, they have pigment powder, they have liquid pigment, I believe they had alcohol ink as well, they have deep pour, tabletop, quick set, everything. Anyway, and they have good prices to begin with. Use that link and your total purchase price, you'll get 10% off of it. Very good deal. You'll love the epoxy, I promise. What am I doing turning that over? Anyway, let's get into this. Remember, now I'm not going to soften this epoxy up just to show you. A lot of people says there won't be a difference, but there is. And you're fixing to see. This epoxy on this sample is going to be just a tad bit tougher to get off than it was on that last one, which is, it's still not hard at all or a pain in the butt by any means. It's still very easy. That acetone just softens it up just a little teeny bit, and it just comes off better, if you ask me. And I've been doing this for quite a few years, so not bragging, but I do have a little bit of experience with it, just a little bit. Well, if you guys get any value out of any of these videos, please give it a thumbs up. All right, here we go. Remember, this one does not have acetone on it. And again, you want to hold the angle of your grinder pretty much almost flat. You want to lift it up just enough this way to get over top of them dry drips, because if you don't, it's going to start gouging and all kind of stuff on you. Anyway, let me get this, and you can clean this whole surface up with this if you hold it flat enough. Let's get this done. See the difference in time? Now, I'm not going to paint the back of this one because of this recipe right here. But anyway, you guys, you seen with your own eyes how quick it was one way versus the other way. And you guys are smart enough to make up your own mind on which one you would rather do. I'm just showing you different options. That's all I'm doing. And like I said, if you're interested in the type of epoxy I use, it's Wise Bond. There will be a link in the description. I will also pin it in the first comment of this video. If you go through that link, purchase anything on their website, which they have all kind of epoxy, deep pour, barred tabletop, quick set. They have pigment powder, all kinds, all different colors. They have liquid pigment. I believe they have alcohol ink. They have tools, reusable mixing sticks. They have trowels. They have the graduated measurement cups that where you take. They're a little thicker. They don't bust like the ones you get from Home Depot or somewhere. Once your epoxy dries in them, you can squeeze them. It'll pop loose. You can pull it out. You can reuse your cup. Anyway, you ought to check them out. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. I know I'm not. That's my go-to epoxy. I love it. I don't use anything else anymore. And no, they're not paying me to say this. Anyway, if you guys get any value out of any of these videos I do, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. That helps the channel out. Leave a comment down below if you have one. If you see somebody commenting on something and you have the answer to it, by all means answer that comment. You're not only helping somebody out, we're a community. We're helping each other out, and you're also helping me out too, because I personally answer every comment that's ever been on my channel. You can go through all my videos and there won't be a comment that's unanswered. That's a promise. Anyway, like I said, give it a thumbs up if I've earned it. Get yourself subscribed if you haven't already, and if I can remember, I'll leave the link, or up here at the top of the screen I'll leave the card to that tabletop video that I done here not too long ago, so you can see Well, all you gotta do is just go back 2 or 3 videos on my channel and you'll see how glass, I mean super, it looks like I laid a sheet of glass down on this tabletop. Anyway guys, I'm just babbling now, wasting y'all's time, and I don't want to do that. But yes, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, get yourself subscribed if you hadn't already. If you have a question, either make your comment in all caps or just leave the word question at the beginning and then ask your question. I fired up my other channel. It was Robert Kellogg announced Deep South Prepper. It's about getting prepared for what myself and a lot of other people believe is coming to us. Not only with inflation and gas prices going up and all that, it doesn't hurt to have a little extra of stuff. That's my train of thought anyway. And anyway, I've been prepping for years and years anyway. I just never put it on YouTube or anywhere like that because I don't want anybody knowing my business, to be honest with you. But if I can help somebody out, give them some ideas, or maybe get some ideas from them, that's my #1 goal. So go check that out if that's something you're interested in. Get yourself subscribed there. And remember, it's Deep South Prepper. And I think there's 1 or 2 videos over there. Give them a thumbs up if you like them. Show the channel some love. And I appreciate you guys to no end. And I love you guys. Peace.